Hey, everybody. I'm here with Madison. I'm going to let Madison introduce herself.
Hey, I'm Madison Rass from South Carolina. I had reached out because I had two of my hounds stolen from Grand American in 2024, and here we are talking about it.
So, from what I understand, Madison, the guy that stole your dogs was caught. You sent me some video that I think showed him stealing your dogs.
Yep, it caught him right on video. It was almost out of the frame. It was so far away because we had actually parked outside the fairgrounds because it was so little parking at the time. But thankfully the fairgrounds had enough cameras posted around that they were able to catch it right when it happened.
All right, I'm trying to get the video queued up. So give me an idea what happened. You were at Grand American.
Yep, I was at Grand American. Got there early in the morning, stayed pretty much all day. I had planned to get a puppy that weekend, and I had entered the treeing competition with both of my dogs. One was the younger dog, one was the older dog. Remy's the older one, and then Najer was the younger one. And put them in the treeing competition about, I think it was like 1 or 2 o'clock. We got done with that around 3, and I had put my dogs back in the dog box because I had planned on meeting the man that I was buying a puppy from. And 10, 15 minutes later, I walk back to the truck and I don't see anything. I don't hear anything. I'm like, oh crap. And dogs are
Can you see the picture?
going.
Okay. Is this both dogs or just one?
That's just one. That's Major.
So that's Major.
Yeah.
A 1-year-old tree walker. How old would Major be now?
He'd probably be going on 2 now.
Probably be going on 2. And the picture in the bottom right corner, is that the guy that stole the dog?
It is. That was before he actually got arrested. So that's a Facebook profile picture that's still current, and then that was an older driver's license thing. Yep,
Tell me about that.
that's the booking report for Kirkland. That's the Kirkland jail in South Carolina. I don't remember the date, but the date that he was booked on, that was the date that was posted.
Okay, and he was convicted.
He was of grand larceny.
Grand larceny.
And that was his first felony. The only other thing he had on his record was a drug charge, a very, very minor drug charge. So it was surprising to everybody, in court that he would do anything like that and not be willing to work with us to be able to clear that felony off of a relatively clean record.
So he went to your truck.
Yep.
He took the dogs out of your truck and walked them down the road.
He walked them down the road, and then we didn't figure out who it was, but he had a friend waiting on him, and they picked him up in a car and drove off. But on the videos, it showed that Bucci, the man, had been basically following me throughout the day. He was keeping his eyes on me. I remembered seeing him at the treeing competition. He was kind of standing in the back with some other people, and I believe one of his friends, it could have been his friend, maybe not, commented and said, "Oh, I really like your dogs. Like, they're really nice. How are they bred? This, that, the other." Just, making small talk, how you do. And sooner enough, I realized that he was the one standing in the crowd watching my dogs and was like, "Huh, those are some nice dogs," and took them home with him.
Wow. So you think he targeted you?
100%. Because the previous year, I had took my dog to the Grand American, Remy, the older one, and he did really well. And I had posted the video on TikTok of him doing the treeing competition, and it got like I don't know, like 70, 80,000 likes, something like that. And it kind of blew up a little bit. And he was a kind of well-known dog around my area. And I truly believe that the man came there with the intention of looking for my dog and taking it.
All right. So tell us a little bit about you, Madison.
About who?
About you. Tell us a little bit about Madison.
Me. I am from Holly Hill, South Carolina. My whole family has been there. I grew up in Charleston for a little while, and now I've been back living in Orangeburg, South Carolina for the last 6 years, give or take. I train horses, I ride horses, and I love dogs. Dogs have been a part of my life since I was born. I had a dog sleeping in my crib with me at night.
Wow.
My granddaddy was an avid coon hunter. He had thousands of dogs throughout his lifetime. He brought me up into it, and I always wanted a dog for myself, but I never really had the money to even think about getting one. We would go out to Grand American when I was 7, 8 years old, and I'd beg for every puppy out there. And I saved up enough money, and I bought Remy, and he was my first coon dog that I had myself.
Now, is Remy that's on screen with us now?
That's Remy.
Okay.
And that dog right there, that was just my heart and soul. I mean, he was with me through so much in my life, and I mean, he gave me more and taught me more than I could ever even thank him for.
So you started out coon hunting with your grandfather,
I did.
and then you got your own dog and somebody stole him.
Yep.
Now let me know when we change dogs. Is it still Remy?
Yep, still Remy. I got a lot of pictures.
Got a lot of pictures of Remy.
I do. I think I have like about 1,000 in my camera home.
So, folks, the reason she's on tonight, one, she's telling us about herself, and two, she's telling us about how her dog was stolen from Grand American, stolen out the back of her truck, and the person that stole him was convicted. Do you think he knew who he sold the dog to?
I believe so, yeah, because I don't know if I want to. I mean, I guess I could say the name, but when Bucci, the man, was working with my officer from Orangeburg, he gave him a name of who he sold the dogs to, and we investigated it. But the person lived in Summerville, South Carolina, and for him to get a I guess a search warrant for his property or anything like that, he had to have a little bit more, you know, probable cause than just going off of somebody's word. And the other man, he had no proof if that's who he sold them to or when or how or why. So that just kind of fell off. But I feel strongly that that person that he mentioned played a part in it one way or the other.
Okay. We have somebody who wants to join in, so I'm going to let them in. Her name's Stephanie.
Okay.
Are you there, Stephanie? Are you coming on screen or are you just watching? I think she might just be watching right now. That's okay.
That's all right.
So let's see what's next in the photos. Tell us about this picture.
That's Major. That was taken about 2 or 3 months before we went to Grand American. That's the last picture I had of him. I have a video of him at Grand American doing the training competition. I think I sent that one to you. I might have.
All right. I'm getting some feedback I normally don't get. Is your sound turned?
It's turned up about all the way.
Turn it down a little bit. I think feedback's coming from your sound.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
All right. So this picture here, this is your baby?
Yep, that's Major. Major again.
Major again.
Major. That's
Major.
Major too.
Look
That's
at
Major when he was a little bit younger there. Remy and Najer together.
Remy and Major.
And that was Major too. And Major actually came from a very, very good friend of mine. I grew up, well, I didn't grow up. The puppy grew up around me that is the daddy of that dog. And he did really, really well. He was my friend's really best dog. He did amazing.
Hey, Stephanie. Welcome
Hey, how are
aboard.
you?
Good.
Hi.
All right. Well, I was just inquiring about I'm the individual from West Virginia that I want to try to get all of us hounds people to try to push together a Katie's Law so that it gets pushed
All that.
nationwide. That what they're doing right now with our hounds, between stealing them, shooting them, it needs to be outlawed. It needs to be nationwide. And I'm so excited that the FBI is involved with Katie's situation.
Absolutely.
Well, yeah, no doubt. She was just
I
telling
mean,
us that the guy that stole her dog, is he still in prison now?
He is. He'll be there for the next 5 years.
He's in prison.
Okay, so can I ask what's going on with the guy that the two hounds from South Carolina
Yeah.
that
Of
they were
course.
stolen, but I've not seen any pictures of these hounds.
Well, they're in the chat
I know
right
they're.
now. I just lost your picture.
I'm sorry. I live in West Virginia and it's in the mountains, and I have horrible hair. I was just wondering.
Right.
I mean, he was convicted, and so can they not threaten him with more prison time to say where these dogs went to?
Unfortunately, no. We worked with him for almost 2 years on it, and he failed. Every time he worked with an officer, he would give them a tiny little bit of information, whether that be, truth or a lie, and then he would block the number he was communicating from and completely go ghost. So my judge basically told him that they were tired of him playing games and wasting, time. So they went ahead and sentenced him. But I mean, I messaged him on Facebook multiple times. I messaged his baby mama on Facebook multiple times. There's been a lot of people who have really, really tried to get this information out of him, and for some reason he just won't give it up.
But
What's your name,
somebody's out
sweetheart?
there right now hunting stolen dogs.
Yep. I was told that they were hunting in a club in Cross that was recently made. It's a run by a bunch of African American gentlemen, and apparently the person who has the dogs is a part of that club.
Wow.
Madison.
So you think
is
they
that
know where
is
they
that
are?
your name?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So can I ask you to get in touch with Sasquatch here, and can we post videos and pictures of these hounds that we can
We're
blow up
working on it.
and
We're working on it right now. Matter of fact, let's
Yep.
watch
There
this
you go.
video. Can you see the video, Stephanie?
I see one posting. It's trying
Madison?
to post, but honestly, right now,
Yeah.
I'm afraid to tap onto it. I'm afraid I'm going to get disconnected. Is what I'm afraid of. Because my house, I actually, I have a plot blue ticks that my neighbor shot yesterday with a
Oh, wow.
22.
Oh my.
And she was on my property. And, of course, I'm sorry, no disrespect to West Virginia, but I called the police. They showed up, went down and talked to them. Oh, we weren't even home. I don't know what you're talking about. And the state police told me, he said, unless you have actual proof. And I told him, I said, come across here to the creek. I can show you where she was standing at. You can follow the blood trail. I mean, she's my oldest hound. I mean, she's my baby girl.
Well, how is she,
It's
Stephanie?
just, I took her to the vet last night. They pulled the bullet out and give me all kinds of antibiotics, this, that, and the other. They only put 4 stitches. They left an opening so it can drain. And they want to check her tomorrow morning and make sure that the infection's not, because if the infection is going down her leg, they're gonna have to amputate her back left leg.
That's terrible.
So
That's horrible.
and I've got a good friend of mine, Kenny Porter, lives in Huntington, West Virginia. His female that he bought up of Bill Fair that runs the virus lines. Autumn was shot off of her tree, and they had to amputate her front left leg. But
That's
they
terrible.
never found. They never found who did it.
What's
This,
wrong
that,
with these
the
people?
other. I don't get it, and that's why I say I really think, and I know I've seen a lot of people comment about putting out there for Katie's Law. Of course, everybody gets one. Well, what about this hound that got shot? What about these hounds that got shot? Well, what you need to do is repost it so that it gets put out there nationwide. And I honestly believe it should be state to state. The law needs to be set so high for prison time that it makes these idiots think twice about even contemplating. Because I'm telling you right now, I know the type of area where Katie was shot at. It's very rural. It's very small town. You cannot convince me that there was not somebody sitting in the waiting to do it for whatever stupid reason.
There's a good possibility. Well, look, let's
mean,
watch the video with Madison and let Madison tell us what happened here on this case with her stolen dog. I'm
Okay.
gonna play the video, Madison. Madison, so what were we watching there? I'm assuming
That
that's
was
you.
Yeah, that was a treeing competition. So
Competition,
basically
yeah.
it's a timed event, and you see how many barks per minute you got with a dog, and just how they do. And that was Najer, the 1-year-old. He was almost 1 there. He had never been out, to any event or anything. So that was his first little outing. And then that was actually the day that he got stolen. So not even an hour after that, he was gone.
And you haven't seen him since.
Haven't seen him since.
All right.
Well, in
what are
my
we watching
opinion,
this? What's this video, Madison?
That is the video of Bucci, Anthony Timmons, taking both dogs out of the truck. He popped that tailgate down, opened that box up, and took them out, and proceeded to walk left-hand wise down the road with them.
So can you see my mouth cursor?
Mm-hmm.
So this is him right here taking the dog.
Yep, that's right. That's him.
And you got the video because the fairground had cameras.
Yes.
Gotta have them. I ordered them, buddy. I ordered them. You posted that one Army of Orange the other day, and I ordered them. So it's actually,
get the little
Madison,
bottle
is that the end? Yes, sir, I did.
of
Madison, is
these?
that the guy that took your hound?
Yes.
That's the video of it?
Yes.
So what's
Yeah,
what's
we've
the
got a
law
lot
about
of
that?
information here. Storms will come in. What really happened was because well, evidently some of my videos from my live event last night got mixed into your folder, Madison.
That's all right.
Hang on, let me figure out where your stuff went.
Got a
You
lot
and
of
Stephanie
technology,
talked,
don't we? Technology is a pain in the butt. But Madison, what's the law telling you about that video? When they can identify him.
How did they identify him?
When they seen your video and they could identify him, what's the law telling you?
Well, that video there was pulled by my police officer. He was out there at the fairgrounds that day, patrolling, and we pulled up multiple different shots of him, and he was wearing the same outfit. And what they did is they used facial recognition, and they were able to match it to him, and then at that point, a warrant got put out for his arrest. And it was about a year before they caught him. And then we spent about 6 to 7 months going back and forth from court dates to court dates, some of which I called out of work for and he never showed up to and had, a crap excuse. And I cut my
whole
loss
circus
back home. And we finally got it to where he, showed up and they sent it to him, and now he's in prison, but I still don't have the dogs.
He refuses to say.
No, he won't say. I've asked him multiple times. Police has asked him multiple times. Even the judge has asked him to find out where he sold them and who sold them after that, or if they're still alive, or what happened. And even though he pled guilty, he still would not tell us anything.
So the poor
See,
connection is
that's
shutting the video down.
Sorry.
The poor connection is shutting the video off.
No.
That conversation y'all just had, isn't there?
No.
Well, I can talk to her and she can talk to me.
The whole point is to get this message put out to everybody. So,
Well, the whole point is what I really think is, and no disrespect to you, Madison, with what happened to Katie, I really think we all need to get together as houndsmen and houndswomen and push for Katie's law. The FBI is involved in it. Oh my God. Are those your babies?
Those are Remy and Najer.
Oh, girl, let me tell you something. I can't upload pictures of my May that's fixing to probably lose her back left leg. But I'm just telling you, it's just, and my heart goes out. With what happened to Katie. And that little boy was, what was he, 11 when this happened?
He was 11,
Good Friday?
yeah.
It happened on Good Friday. He lost his hound. He missed his birthday and he missed Easter. And in my opinion, I'm not going to get real vulgar here.
No, don't do that.
The BS has got to stop. This BS has got to stop.
Yeah, I agree. It really does.
Like I said, I'm sitting here right now, and I hope to God whenever I take Maggie back to the vet tomorrow, that they're going to give her the clearance with her leg. But if it's not looking good, I'm not going to let it push, for infection, because I don't want to lose her.
Right.
You know, if they've got to amputate her back left leg, then that's what they got to do.
Well, Stephanie, that's what I
But
want
it's
you to
just,
do. I want you to take me some pictures and get me as much information as you can about that. Go ahead and send it to the page in a direct message or post it on the official group. You can post it, and I'll get you back on and we'll talk about your situation, especially after we know what the vet says.
yes.
And I'm going to
And
thank you
then
for coming on.
I'll tell you something else I can do. I can get you in contact with Kenny Porter, which is one of my buddies that lives like a little over 20 miles from me in Huntington, West Virginia. I mean, and he managed, believe it or not, and it blew my mind. She had to have her front left leg amputated, but he's been hunting her and got her titled out because UKC said because it was not a birth defect. It was
UKC.
People don't understand. They don't
Deformities.
understand. People don't understand the drive that these hounds have. She's running with one front leg and two back legs, and she got titled.
Right. Well, look, I thank you for
And
coming on tonight, Stephanie. I'm going to finish up with Madison, and we're going to see if we can't find her stolen dogs. And you get me that information, and we'll see about putting you on here to tell your story. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, and thank everybody that's doing everything, you know, between Madison and for Katie, and you know, I mean, we're all hounds people.
That's right. I'm amazed that I got two ladies on today. It's usually guys I'm talking to, and tonight I
tried to tie in the other night, but I couldn't get to go through, and it's probably because where I live at West Virginia, the service wasn't good. So,
well, it happens.
but I appreciate you and everything that you guys are doing, and Madison, good luck, sweetheart. I will reshare everything about your story with your babies, and we've got to work together.
Yes, ma'am.
All the information will be posted in a few minutes, and the video will be available tomorrow morning.
All right. Y'all have a good night.
Yes, ma'am. You too.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Tell me about the picture. Tell me about the dogs.
Najer and Remy sitting on the couch. I think they had gotten a bath like 30 minutes before that, so they were everywhere.
So what we're looking at here is 4 neglected, abused hunting dogs. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Poor, sad life.
I saw another picture where you had one laying on the bed. I think that one of them was sleeping with you.
Yeah, Remy slept with me every night. He acted as my pillow ever since he was a puppy. He would like curl up behind the back of my neck, and even as a 2-3-year-old dog, he would still do that. So I would basically just sleep on him the whole night.
Yeah. And you think they're in what area in South Carolina have you been told you thought they're in?
I was told Cross, South Carolina. It's near Monk's Corner.
Near Monk's Corner. So anybody out there knows who's got these dogs? Let's get them back to their rightful owner. There's no reason to steal somebody's dogs. And keep in mind, the person that stole the dogs is in prison. This is not he might have stole the dog.
Yeah.
This is not
that's the name of that.
Yeah, he's convicted. Did he go to jury trial, big trial, or did he plead guilty?
He pled guilty the first court case we had. Or the first court date we had.
Wow. And then the other court
Because he knew that he stole them. You know, he wasn't about to argue with that. We had him on video, everything.
Wow. play
And
that
I'll
video
be
again.
able to send you some more pictures too. That's just what I had at the time. I was driving home from work when I sent you those.
Yeah, but you pulled over first, right?
Yeah, I did. I stopped at the gas station.
That's right. So guys, what we're watching here is we're watching a video of a girl and her dog. And her dog's on a treeing contest. They're counting the barks. How many barks the dog's giving out? This is Madison. And which dog is this? I'm sorry.
That's Major. That was
Major.
his first event.
Very first event Major went to was taken from this girl. A sorry man steal a dog, and it takes a sorry man to steal a woman's dog.
It does.
And if you're just joining in, from what she told me, he followed her around and followed the dogs and looked at the dogs. Here we go. Pay your attention right here to the back of the truck. Give us a play-by-play there, Madison, on what's happening.
There he went. He waited until I put the dogs in the dog box. He waited until I had walked back into the fairgrounds. He walked out of the fairgrounds, immediately went straight to that truck that he had been watching, popped that tailgate down, took the dogs out the box, and then proceeded to walk that left way down by the railroad tracks is where that was. And he had somebody pick him up and pick the dogs up with him, and they took off. There they are getting out the box.
And he had followed you around the event,
He did.
telling you about the dogs. I'm repeating some things because our video's cut out a couple of times. And
No,
I don't
you're
know
fine.
exactly what parts we've missed and parts we haven't. So I want to make sure the info gets in there.
I understand. You could. I
So-
appreciate, the help. Any help is good help.
So I'm going to start it out by saying that if somebody will help me reunite these dogs with their rightful owner, which is Madison. It's not me saying that. It's not Madison saying that. It would be the court saying that.
It would.
That I'm going to put $100 of my money up as a reward. And if anybody else wants to pledge into it, that's fine. I'm not going to take up the reward money. I'm not going to hold it. But if you want to pledge it, we'll add your pledge to it. Still getting feedback, man.
Absolutely. That anything would be appreciated. And we have $5,000 on each dog.
All right,
That
so $10,000 reward out there. I just made it $10,100.
10,100.
$10,100. That's life changing money, folks.
It
Somebody
is.
got these dogs out there. Somebody knows where they are. So all you got to do is tell me who's got them, and we'll have a nice deputy go pick them up.
There you go.
All right. What else you need to share with me? Do you have a dog now?
I do. I got a dog off of Free Willy, if you know that one. He just turned 6 months old. We showed him his first coon not too long ago, and he got to it pretty quick. He's rolling around with it and tearing it up on the ground. He loves it, and he's a good sounding little dog too.
And how old is he?
He just turned 6 months, I believe.
So he's just a little puppy.
Just a puppy. He's got a lot to learn, but I believe he can do it.
Well, that's good. So, folks, Madison started out hunting with her grandfather, and she always wanted her own dog. She said she'd go to Grand American and she'd beg for every puppy she saw.
I would.
And then she finally got her a dog, and she started hunting him, and he did well. He was at Grand American the day before. And then she went, it was 2022 and your dog was stolen. I followed her around. He complimented you on your dog?
He did. He asked about the bloodlines and where I got them from and how old they were, and complimented the way they sounded, and just small talk you make about dogs, and then they're gone.
And then he stole
I
them.
should have told him that he treated possums and cats.
You should have told him it was a genuine possum dog. So you should have told him.
Okay, there you go.
All right. Well, Madison, you got anything else you want to add?
Just honestly, prayers and eyes and help and talk, and good thoughts about it. I've tried to be as optimistic as I can, about the situation, especially of how long it's been. Just anybody with any information at all, even if you think it might not matter, it matters one way or the other. It does. And if you reach out to you or me or anybody and they're able to share it, I'd be glad to hear it and take it into some sort of help.
So I've got a question.
Of course.
How would somebody benefit from these dogs with them being stolen? They couldn't enter them in a UKC hunt, did they?
Well, they could if they forged papers, which unfortunately people do that a lot. They can do it with UKC or PKC. They can fake the dog and put it into. They can single register the dog, which you don't have to have any dam or sire information on that. So there's ways that you can get around it with competition hunting, but I feel like if these dogs were being competition hunted, I would know it, because I know a lot of people that do competition hunt, and I know a lot of guides, and I've contacted just about every board member in North Carolina and South Carolina about these dogs. I've sent pictures, videos. I've had the word out, so I feel like if they are being hunted in a competition hunt, it's got to be states and states away. And I don't believe that. I believe that they're still here in South Carolina.
So one more time, folks, these dogs we're looking for. They're good looking dogs. And somebody knows where they are.
Somebody somewhere knows what happened and where they are.
All right, Madison. Thank you for being on tonight. I really hope that we find your dog.
Of course, and I appreciate your help and letting me come talk with you.
And I hope your puppy does well.
Thank you. I'll send you some pictures of him too sometime.
All right, that sounds good. Our link is just terrible tonight.
Yeah.
So I'll chat with you later. Thanks for being on.
Of course. Thank you.
And good luck with the puppy.
Yes, sir. Good night. Thank you.
Good night.